where I speak to you on standing on the stool, and you can listen to my words very clearly there. So, what is the mode of communication that my words reach to you or your ears? See, college is a place where everybody come there, and to come to college, some may come by walk, some may come by bus, and some may come by some other vehicles. So this bus vehicles, these are all what mode of communication or mode of transportation. In the same way, when I talk to you or somebody talk to you or you talk with someone, there is a mode of communication. Okay, there is a mode, there is a process, there is a transportation between you and them. Your words are carried by some kind of a thing. What is that? Are you understanding my question? May I get the answer? Are you understanding my question? I am asking you. Gautam? Gautam, are you there? Gautam? Kirti? Kirti?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you got my question? I have asked a question now. So have you got a answer for that, or have you understood the question?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Fine. I will repeat once again. Be attentive, everybody. See, you speak with someone or someone speak with you virtually. For example, if your mother is asking, do you want tea or do you want something? Those words can be easily accessible, or you can reply immediately whether you want or not. Okay, yes or no. Okay. So whatever they speak or whatever I speak to you, even in the virtual class, the things, the listening things are easily accessible and listened by everybody. Okay. So with the help of what my words are reaching to you. One thing is good, that we both are paired, means physically good. Our audible and the speaking capacities are good. Okay. So because of that, I speak and you to speak, you to listen and I to listen. But there is a mode or there is a vehicle between me and you, or between you and the other person who is talking to you. That vehicles brings those speeches or those words from the other person to your ears. It makes to the reach, to reach you. So what is that mode of communication? Are you understanding the question?
Air.
Yes. May I get the answer? Let me tell. Let you tell. Have you understood the question quite well? If you not have understood,
Yes, ma'am.
very simple. See, someone speak with you or you speak with them, but when you speak, you both respond to each other. Okay. So how it is possible? Words cannot be seen, words cannot be touched.
It
Words are also
flows into
invisible.
air, ma'am.
Yes, yes, please. I got the answer.
It flows from the air, shayad.
It, Pranay, are you giving the answer?
Yes, ma'am. It flows from the air. No?
Okay, it flows from the ear, from the air. Each of the words which we are talking, and even today, though I am connecting to you from the internet, I'm sorry. See, the talks which I'm talking here, even through the laptop, these are also connected to you with the help of air. How come? Because on the tower there are some frequencies, okay, frequency waves, okay. With the help of them, uh, the words or the things what we connect with each other and what we speak over the phone, that can be easily listened, okay. So here, this griffin or the strange man, he wanted to create such kind of a personality or such kind of a human being which is completely invisible, which should be like an air. Yesterday while discussing the summary, I have told you that, okay, he wanted to create a refractive index. So it means that human body should be like air. See, we cannot see air. Can you see the air? ಗಾಳಿನ ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ? I am asking you.
No.
No, we cannot see the air, but we can sense it. We can feel it, right? We sense it, we feel it, and because we are alive. Otherwise, we won't be. We are no more now. Okay? So, here, this griffin or the strange man, he wanted to create such kind of a human personality just like an air, okay, which can be sensed and which can be felt, but it never can be touched by anybody, okay. And to experiment this, okay, and to experiment this kind of experiments, he experiments first on it a cat, and after that he experiments on his body. So when he experiments it, he becomes invisible, and he was very happy on his first attempt. And later he was failed to reverse it back. Means he was failed to visible, make himself to visible. See, now he is invisible. Okay. So when he was using some other chemicals to visible himself. So then now what happens? He becomes pale. His mission was failure now. So later, what he does, he got to know that he becomes the talk of gossips. So he leaves the place, and while going, he steals some cloths from the theatrical company, that is jacket, hat, cloth, this brim hat, spectacles, and so many things, okay, from that drama company. And later he comes to the railway station called Bramley-Hearts railway station, and there he comes on the snowy February evening. There he goes to the place called Iping. Okay, he is completely wrapped up in clothing, so only the tip of his nose can be seen. It is a prosthetic nose. Okay, the nose what he had over his face, it was a prosthetic nose. What is the meaning of the word prosthetic? Yesterday I have told you. Prosthetic means an artificial nose, okay, or an artificial body part. Usually these girls, okay, what they do, they apply this artificial nails to their nail, okay, so long nails. That is what prosthetic nail. Prosthetic nose means an artificial nose, okay. Later he arrives at the coach and horses. See, he arrives in a coach and a horses. Where he arrives to an inn, okay, and he begs for a room and a fire. Mrs. Hall takes him to a room and lights a fire there, okay. She is thrilled that he is there, as it is very rare for visitors to come to Iping during winter. As I have told you that rarely visitor used to come to the Iping place in the time of winter, because it is a very hard dark winter. Your skin get it not only cracks, rather it breaks, okay. Your skin, exactly, it rather never cracks but it breaks. So such kind of a hard winter days that I think people have. But this strange man is very special, so because of that, Mrs. Hall thrilled, and he is there as as it is very rare for visitors to come to Iping during the winter. She leaves the room to get plates and glasses, and when she returns, is surprised to see Griffin still wearing all his clothes, despite the fact that the fire is now roaring. Okay, the fire is now roaring means now it is a very heavy power. Okay, now it is a large hearth. I have told you that hearth means a small lamp or the firing area. Usually in the Western countries you get that. Okay, and in India we say it as agatigi or vale. Okay, the concept of that. Here the hearth, Hearth, hearth or the fire, what she has lit, it is now roaring. Okay, now it is screaming. But also, he never removed off his clothes. Okay, he never changed his wet clothes. Okay, Griffin rudely tells Mrs. Hall to leave his hat and later, next point, she leaves the room to get plates and glasses. When she returns, she got surprised to see Griffin still wearing all his clothes, despite the fact that the fire is now roaring. So what she does, she asks Griffin to get his clothes and hats to him. She will make the best dry in the kitchen, and she returns to him back. But Griffin rudely tells Mrs. Hall to leave his hat, and she is shocked to see him holding a napkin over the lower part of his face. So what happens here that he rudely says that not to touch his any items or anything. So he was holding a napkin. Okay, he was holding a napkin over the lower part of his face, like how now usually now if you don't have mask in the hands or okay, with you to wear it properly, what the people do, they cover their face with some kerchief. Okay, they keep kerchief over their face. So in the same way he was holding a napkin over the lower part of his face. The rest of his head above his glasses is wrapped in bandages. Okay, the rest of his head above his glasses means over his spectacle, over his chasma, okay, over his glasses is wrapped means it is covered with bandages. His black hair shoots cut in different directions, which gives him the strangest appearance and conceivable. So what happens, he had hair, okay, and this hair, it was this his black hair shoots out in different directions, because it was a snowy evening and he was standing beside the window, and it was a blooming air. Okay, the air was blooming there, and to the blooming air and this flowing air, this hair is shaking, and it shoots out in a different direction. So that was giving the strangest appearance and conceivable. Mrs. Hall stammers an apology, promises that she will dry the boots and leaves. Okay, and she stammeringly means like thank you, like how when we were scared and when when we were shocked to say something, he stammers there. The words never come naturally from the mouth of our word from the mouth of ours. Immediately we will never get the words. So in the same way, she stammers an apology, promises, and she also promises that she will dry the boots and leaves. But for that also he never agrees. And she concludes that he must have been disfigured in an accident. So what she feels that he must be physically damaged, or he must be lost his physical parts in some of the accidents. Okay, means he is figured or disfigured. Okay, figured means what, the proper figure or the proper body what we have. So what she feels or what she senses that he must have disfigured in an accident. So he is very strange. Okay, so he doesn't want to show his face to me. When she returns to collect his dishes, Griffin is in a better mood. He tells her he left some luggage at Bramleyhurst station and is disappointed to hear that he won't be able to get it back before tomorrow. So what happens now? she gave him food and everything, and she came back to collect it later. Okay, his plates, glass, whatever she has given him. And when she came to collect all these dishes, okay, dishes means the plates, glass, spoons, these are all called dish. Okay. So when she came to collect this all, he was quite a little in a good mood. So what he says to her that he has forgotten his luggage, his own luggage to Bramleyhurst station, and he is disappointed to hear that. He is disappointed to get to know that he won't be able to get it back before tomorrow. Then, making a conversation, Mrs. Hall tells Griffin about a time when her brother injured himself with the scythe, and Griffin laughs coldly. He then interrupts the conversation with a request for matches, which Mrs. Hall finds rude. Okay, Mrs. Hall had a sympathetic emotions on stranger or this Griffin, because she thought that this person must have lost his physical body parts into some of the accidents. Okay, and because of that he is disfigured. So with a great sympathy, and in order to encourage him to face the life, he she tells him, Mrs. Hall tells him that her brother, okay, also disfigured, or he was injured very much in, okay, with a scythe. Okay, and Griffin laughs very coldly for this. Very coldly means, without any interest and insulting someone. Okay, in such a way, he gives a laugh. He then interrupts the conversation, a request for a matches, which Mrs. Hall finds rude. So what happens? Mrs. Hall, with a great interest and with a great sympathy, she was sharing her own experience with her brother to Miss this a strange man, but he interrupts the talk. He disturbs the talk which she was telling about his brother to him. Okay, Mrs. Hall, she is speaking with this strange man, saying that my brother has lost his physical body in the accidents. Okay, and he never felt that it is a serious matter to deal. So he disturbs her sympathetic talk by asking a matchbox. This makes her, and she, Mrs. Hall, finds rude. However, she remembers the money she will get from him and brushes it off. Okay, and she know that whatever he may be, okay, he is going to pay the amount, so she never thinks about him back. After Mrs. Hall leaves, she hears what sound like Griffin talking to himself and pacing around the room. So when Mrs. Hall goes away from the place, she finds that she listens that Griffin is talking to himself and pacing around the room. Means he is walking around the room. That was the end of chapter first. And what's there in the chapter second? It was evening 4 o'clock, just as Mrs. Hall is getting ready to ask Griffin if he had like some, means if he would like to have some tea. Teddy Hanfrey, the clock fixer, arrives. Mrs. Hall takes him to the parlor room where the clock is broken and enters. Okay, in the second chapter, in the beginning, we got to know that in the bar, okay, there they have uploaded a watch, and it has been it was not running properly. Okay, it is dead off now. Okay, and it is broken now. So Teddy Henfrey comes to repair it, and when he comes to repair it, this lady, that is Mrs. Hall, she directly gets Teddy Henfrey to the parlor room, and there the clock is broken and enters. It is dark, and Griffin is laying asleep in front of the fire. For a second, Mrs. Hall thinks she can see a huge mouth gaping upon in Griffin's face, but concludes that the shadow had trickled her. So it was dark night, okay, and Griffin was just beside that hearth or the fire, and he was sleeping there. When she goes to the place or the room of Griffin to call him for the dinner, she observes that there was a gap, okay, open gap between his face and the mouth, and she feels that it had been tricked, the face. She says that it might be because of some accident. Okay, Hall thinks that she can see a huge mouth gaping open in Griffin's face, but concludes that the shadows had tricked her. Griffin wakes and agrees to have a clock fixed, but adds that in a general, he wants to be left in privacy and assumes that the parlor room will be for his own personal use. Okay, so what happens that Griffin agrees to add up a clock into his room. But the thing is that he wanted to keep the room privately, and that should be for his privacy, and assumes that the parlor room will be for his own personal use. He then tells her he would like to have some tea, but not until the clock mending is over. So Griffin tells now to this lady, that is to Mrs. Hall, that he would like to have some tea, but not now. Okay, until then, the clock mending. Okay, the clock mending should be completed. Griffin is required again about his boxes, and Mrs. Hall assures him that they will welcome the next day. Griffin, so what happens here that Griffin had kept all his clothes and every material in the suitcase or in the bag, but he has forgotten the same bag in the this Bremlingstay railway station. So here, uh, this lady, Mrs. Hall, says him that not to worry about the lost thing in the railway station, but tomorrow you can welcome them because we will get them on our doors by tomorrow. Later, Griffin explains that he is an experimental investigator and this experiment is inside his luggage. So he says that, I am an experimental investigator. So I'm investing on some good things. So all the things which are belonging to my investigations are in this bag, okay, which I have gotten in railway station. He says he came to Iping for solitude and hopes that he will be able to carry out his work in peace. He adds that his eyes are weak and painful, and that sometimes he finds to be locked in the dark room for hours at a time. Griffin requires again about his boxes, and Mrs. Hall assures him they welcome next day. Griffin explains that he is an experimental investigator, and that is equipment inside his luggage. He says he came to Iping for solitude and hopes that he will be able to carry out his work in peace. The lines have been repeated. Okay. He adds that his eyes are weak. Oh, actually, the things have been repeated here. Here we receive two contrasting impressions of Griffin. His explanation that he is an experimental investigator conducting important work makes him seem powerful. On the other hand, his statement about his eyes struggles great vulnerability. In the first chapter, we got to know about his dressings and about his culture, the attitude that he had. And in the second chapter, there is a concept on who's that? Teddy Henry. Okay, he is a person who comes to set clock into the room. Fine. So here, this is the end of the chapter second, and what's there in chapter third and fourth in the next class we will see. Okay, and till then, any difficulty if you have, please you are open to tell. Do you have any difficulty? I am asking you. Okay, so day by day we will complete two chapters. 28 chapters are there. Within 15 to 28 days, we can complete the lesson. Fine, and later when once the virtual classes starts, I will teach you the grammar. I have asked you to start inserting the roll number. Does anybody have any doubts? You can leave the meeting. Breathe.